Hey there, welcome back to Total Geek Live Baltimore Presents. I am Baltimore, and today I am bringing you the Korvac Saga. This is basically Avengers, 11 issues. It's 167, 168, and then 170 through 177. That's basically the entirety of this storyline. It's in 1978 was this time this was created. We have Jim Shooter and David Michelin as the creators, the writers. We have Steve Gerber and Steve Starlin, who also take a big part of his origin. So it's actually quite fascinating. Korvac is kind of an interesting character who's kind of shown up sporadically throughout the years through various means and various successes, we'll say. But basically, he was born in the 31st century. Basically, this is the Guardians of the Galaxy timeline and universe, where the Badoon have enslaved the worlds, Earth included, and he is a sort of siding with them, just trying to he's a technician, and he is actually forced into becoming kind of like a cyborg by them because of a betrayal they perceive of him. And he actually is manipulated and forced into fighting Doctor Strange and the Defenders in a weird cosmic, time travel-y story, which is really kind of fascinating. Um, the Elders of the Universe are involved in this kind of storyline, which is kind of interesting to see that them take another, step into the Marvel Universe and Earth and all of that. So Michael Korvac basically time traveled back to the 616 universe and finds Galactus, and he decides that unknowingly he absorbs the power cosmic from Galactus, and he just comes to an epiphany. He wants to come to Earth and create a utopia. So of course that doesn't quite sit well with the Avengers and the heroes of Earth, and he gets into conflict with them. The Guardians of the Galaxy have also followed him from the future and are in pursuit of him, Starhawk in particular. We find out that the Elders of the Universe, the Collector, he has a daughter named Karina, and he wants to send her to basically stop Korvac. So she ends up, fighting him, and then falls in love with him. And a little classic twist to the story. She falls in love with the person she's supposed to be, taking home, destroying, whatnot. And so they decide they're going to try to live a normal life in Long Island, unbeknownst to anyone else, as a normal married couple. So of course, they try to do that, but it doesn't last too long because the Avengers teamed up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, find out about this whole situation, and have decided to yeah, this is not going to work. We need to stop Korvac before it gets worse. And it does get worse. He's quite powerful, and I don't think they realize exactly how powerful Korvac was until they actually go up against him. They track him down, and he and Karina are posing as human couple. Starhawk is the one who says, "I see no Michael here," and of course Korvac, realizing that the jig is up, that he's been found out, then proceeds to fight all of them. So the combined entire roster of the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy are pummeled up in a big, huge fight against each other, and he's basically slaughtering the Avengers and slaying them left and right. There's really nobody left. You have Captain America and Wonder Man, who actually lead a charge that gets him kind of unexpected, but even then he destroys them. So then you're left with Starhawk, Iron Man, Thor, and the Vision, who are finally the final one standing, who go up against him. And his power has been depleted mostly because of all of the attacking and destroying of the Avengers. He's weakened. And then he feels that Karina senses weakness in him, that she doubts him. So he can't deal with that kind of guilt, and so he kills himself. He wills himself out of existence, and of course that makes her go crazy. She now is attacking the Avengers that are left, and it's up to Thor to actually stop her, definitively. So the storyline ends. She's destroyed, but with his last act of willpower, Korvac restores all the people that he has killed. So all the Avengers are restored to life. Everything is kind of back to normal, which is kind of like a main uh, beat and story in comics telling. Um, all these big things happen, people die, and then at the end, some sort of mystic wave of the hand, and the all the effects are undone. So it's kind of it. I feel like I get that they do it because it's a continual storytelling um, art form, but sometimes it does lose the impact when the characters have to be perceived as in stasis. Things can happen, but you can't have too much happen. Um, an illusion of change, so to speak, because you can't have all these characters die or come back, or well, they do die and come back, but you kind of have to suspend your belief on these items. But Korvac is, a big main adversary to the Avengers. He's plagued them many times. There was I think it's called the Korvac Quest. In the 90s, they revisited him through the annuals, which was kind of interesting to see. And then I think it was the Avengers Academy issues in the late 2000s, or like 2008, 9, maybe 12, where the Avengers are inadvertently bring Karina and Michael back to life. And there's a big battle that happens with the Avengers and the trainee Avengers Academy students, which was kind of interesting to see that play out as well. Again, Korvac gets kind of a short shift, even though he's so powerful. I feel like there's way too much he can do, so they kind of have to take him out really quickly. So a lot of the dramatic heft to Korvac is lost. But he really should be a main adversary that's just, supremely vexing to the Avengers. And I don't think they quite capture that. But, we'll see about it. And then during the Secret Wars incursion, storyline where the Marvel Universe was broken, they had a 3-issue miniseries of the Korvac Saga, which is actually pretty fun. And it's kind of one of those. It was where the creators were allowed to retell the story, but in a different way, but keeping some of the same beats. So they were in Long Island. It was Michael and Karina, and it was the Korvac Avengers who were sent to stop him. And of course, there was a little twist on it that made it a little bit different and a little more compelling, through a modern lens. But at the same time, I think Korvac can be really, really good as a character and as a villain, and I just don't think they give him enough to actually, be that for the Avengers. And that's something I would really like to see. But, the Korvac Saga is classic Avengers, 1978, and it's really, really, actually pretty holds up pretty well. And rereading, you can get the trade paperback for this. But let me know what you think about the Korvac Saga. I know it's a little bit dated, but we do have a lot more iterations of Korvac through the years that you can pick up as well. But let me know what you're thinking about the Korvac Saga, and I'll be back with more Marvel goodness for you. And as always, it's all geek to us.